Lindsay, I just finished my autopsy, and the DNA is a perfect match. That's Sutter Ames you found buried at the lighthouse.
Unbelievable. Regina found Sutter first, and it looks like she died because of it. Were you able to establish time of death on Ames?
Well, it's tough to be exact given the level of decay, but these remains are pretty ancient. I'd say he's been dead at least 30 years. Ames couldn't have lived much longer after Mandy Malone was killed.
What about a cause of death? Any idea?
I found no trauma on the skeleton, but analysis of the remaining particulates showed a number of substances found in seawater.
He was drowned?
That, or he was dumped in the water afterwards. No way to know, but he was definitely submerged for at least a few days. Given the substance levels I found, there were fibers remaining around his ankles as well. I'd guess it was rope, tied to something to weigh him down in the water.
If Ames was murdered around the time Mandy Malone was killed, it would help to speak with the sheriff that was on the case. I'll see if I can track down who that was.
Good luck, Lindsay. Let me know if there's anything else I can do.
Thanks, Claire. And let's keep a lid on the details. I want a chance to investigate the death of Sutter Ames before it becomes a tabloid feeding frenzy.
Sure thing, Linz. We can stall for a couple of days. Good luck.
Hello everybody, Ollamh here, and welcome back to James Patterson's Women's Murder Club, Little Black Lies. So, to catch up, one of the ladies' friend, who was a writer, was found dead in her car. They're investigating. Come to find out, she was investigating the supposed murder by Sutter Ames of Mandy Malone. Last time we actually found out that, well, we found out a few things. Mandy Malone was not killed at Sutter Ames's camp. It was actually a goat that was sacrificed, though some people think that it was Mandy Malone that was sacrificed, but it wasn't. Sutter Ames was supposed to have left, but never actually made it out. We actually found his body 30 years after he was killed, which I want to point out, 30 years is not ancient history. It's not. For somebody who, being over 30 myself, well past 30, yeah, 30 years is not ancient. Sorry, but... So now we need to find out why everybody was lying, saying that, oh no, Sutter Ames left, and stuff like that. So let's talk to the librarian here.
Beverly, I'm sorry to bother you again, but I have more questions about the Mandy Malone case.
I'm sorry, Detective Boxer, I can't help you right now. Once I've started a crossword puzzle, I can't concentrate on anything else until I've completed it. I suppose if you help me finish it, I could give you my full attention.
Not a problem. All right, let's see here. So, one down, prisoner, or to prove convict. 19 across is walking stick. Be cane. 9 down, breach of laws. Or no, sorry, porcelain. Oh, China. Breach of laws would be a crime. 3 down is read-only memory is ROM. 10 down is Egyptian artifact stone, Rosetta Stone. 14 down, best-selling thriller. Patterson, of course. 28 across. Anatomic term for kidney? I'm not sure. 26 down, written proof. Oh. Receipt. 37 across, author of The Raven, Poe. 37 down, sudden fear, panic. 45 across, something that furnishes proof. Evidence. 46 across, Seattle landmark, the Space Needle. 29 across, notion is an idea. 31 down, extrasensory perception is ESP. 18 across, H2O is water. 11 across, country south of France is Spain. 5 down, seizes food by killing. Praise, right. That'd be Carter? Yes, it is. Carter. 39th president. Jimmy Carter. Okay.
Thank you, Detective. Incomplete word puzzles are an itch I simply must scratch. Now, what can I do for you?
Miss Connors, can you tell me who the sheriff was in Cypress View during Mandy's murder investigation?
Yes, his name was Richard Walton. He wasn't too popular around here after the Mandy Malone case went unsolved, and he eventually resigned under the pressure.
Do you know where he is today?
Last I heard, he had moved just northeast to here, to the apartment building next to the Hillcrest Cemetery. He's probably pushing 80 by now, but as far as I know, he's still there.
I see. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure. My break is over, though. If there's nothing else, I'll get back to my books.
Go right ahead.
No, that's all for now. Thanks again.
All right, so we need to visit Hillcrest Apartments. Whoop, excuse me? Okay, so our... Walton. So we need to go to 3. So circuits required on buildings. Okay, so we have... This is a 4-story building. So B needs to go to A and C. There we go. All right, so now we can close that. We can say 3.
Yeah.
Mr. Walton, this is Detective Lindsay Boxer of the San Francisco Police
Easy
Department.
peasy.
It's urgent that I speak to you about the Mandy Malone case.
What do you take me for? Do you know how many real crime freaks I get buzzing my apartment, claiming to be some person or another, trying to get me to talk about Mandy Malone? Go away.
I assure you, Mr. Walton, I am a fellow law enforcement officer investigating the death of Regina Blacklock in Cypress View.
Why is that name familiar? Regina...
Regina was writing a book on the murder of Mandy Malone. If she learned of your whereabouts, she almost certainly would have tried to contact you.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember now. She called last week. I told her what I told you. Everything I have to say is in the reports. If you're telling the truth, then I'm sorry she's dead. But unless I'm a suspect, leave me alone.
She found the body of Sutter Ames shortly before her murder and may have died for that discovery.
What? Sutter Ames is dead? How? When did he die? Oh, what am I saying? I don't even know if you are who you say you are. I'll buzz you in. And if you can show me a badge, we can talk.
All right.
Then we'll be talking shortly, Mr. Walton.
Sounds perfectly fair.
Well, I'll be damned. You are a cop. Sorry for the hassle, Detective, but you wouldn't believe the number of cranks I get pestering me about Mandy Malone.
I can imagine. And now you can add me to the list because I need to pester you about Sutter Ames and the Mandy Malone case.
Sure, I just need to take my medications first, or nobody will be able to ask me anything. Can you help me find the bottles? I have 8 different prescriptions, and I can't find them.
Well, that's problematic. What would you have done if I hadn't shown up? Just died? I mean, You're taking that many medications. You should keep them around in at least places where you know you're going to be able to find them. All right, there's all the medications. There's the masking tape, which we apparently need. There's the key ring, which we apparently need. All right, so we need a shell, 2 snails. Why do you have so many snails in here? I mean, are they just pictures of snails, or are they like actually physical snails? Well, there's a picture of a snail. That's fine. That's okay. I mean, but if you have actual snails in your apartment, which you do have an actual snail in your apartment, which is weird. All right, jellyfish, I'm guessing, is also on the tiles. Seahorse, which is probably also on the tiles. A hanger, which is actually probably physically there. A squirt gun, which is weird for an 80-year-old man to have in his apartment, but okay, whatever. Cobra, which is probably on the tiles. I would hope it's on the tiles. I hope there's not like a live cobra sitting there. That would be a little weird. A shaver. And a turtle.
Hey, those are my old sheriff's keys from my Cypress View days. You can keep them. They probably don't open anything at this point. I had them for some of the doors and gates around town in case of emergency. Thanks for the help, Detective. I think I eat more pills than food these days, but I'm still kicking, so I can't complain. Now then, Sutter Ames is really dead, you say?
Yes, he apparently drowned, but his body was recently discovered in a shallow grave on the coast, suggesting foul play. He died around the time he was thought to have left Cypress View. Tell me about the Mandy Malone investigation.
I wasn't really prepared to deal with a case like that. Small-town sheriffs are for handling barroom scuffles and petty criminals, not solving grisly murders.
Didn't any outside agencies help with the case?
Oh, sure, but as far as the citizens were concerned, I was the face of the investigation.
That must have been a lot of pressure.
It was intense. Oh, yeah. I had hair before the Malone case. And most of the town thought Ames was guilty and wanted justice. But there never was a shred of evidence that he killed Mandy.
Right, so Sutter's cult. What do you have to say about that?
Did you have any run-ins with Sutter before the Malone murder?
I was fairly certain he was in possession of illegal drugs, but I had no probable cause to act on it. It's not against the law to invite people to your private cabin in the woods. And the squirrels never filed a noise complaint.
So you wouldn't say Sutter Ames had a cult?
Oh, there's a lot of mystical mumbo-jumbo surrounding him, but I think most of the folks were there for the party, not for the spirituality, especially the young kids like Mandy.
But the parents had other ideas?
Don't they always?
I had pressure to do something about Sutter Ames and his cult well before Mandy's murder. But I was a cop, not a babysitter. Call me when there's been a crime, not because little Johnny is out past his curfew.
You got yourself a crime, all right.
So about Sutter's disappearance.
When was the last time you saw Sutter?
I stopped by Sutter's place to make one last attempt to get him to leave town. He had resisted at first. Wouldn't be driven out of his home over a crime he didn't commit, he said.
Something finally changed his mind?
Well, I thought he finally realized that being right wouldn't mean being happy. Everyone had turned against him, probably unfairly, but why stay in his home just to spite the angry mob?
Is that why you didn't suspect foul play when Ames disappeared?
I wondered why he never shipped his things, but I thought he probably had some hippie revelation about material possessions or bad karma or something, and just left it all behind. There was no body, no missing persons report, and no love lost in the folks in town. So I let it go.
It makes sense. So, the murder suspect.
Now that we know Ames was murdered, do you suspect anyone in particular?
Since most of the town thought Ames was guilty, you could say most of the town had a motive.
Surely some residents were more convinced of Sutter's guilt than others, right?
Yeah, that's true. The real ringleaders in the crusade against Sutter Ames were Bud Malone, Rebecca Atkins, and Mike Boren. They'd be at the top of my list.
Right.
I imagine Bud Malone didn't take any of it very well.
He was outraged. And who could blame him? His beautiful daughter had been brutally murdered, and the man most folks agreed was responsible was walking free. He was divorced, living out of state when it happened, and I think he felt like he'd failed to protect her, which made the pain even worse.
Did he ever make threats against Sutter Ames?
He was more inclined to make threats against me for not arresting Ames. I never heard him threaten Sutter's life directly. But Bud clearly thought that man had murdered his child, and he wanted justice.
Yeah, not terribly surprising, honestly. So about Rebecca Atkins.
How did Rebecca Atkins figure into this?
Rebecca was relentless. She was the first, last, and loudest voice calling for Sutter's arrest.
Why? Did she have a grudge against him?
Rebecca thought of Cypress View as her town. She had a lot of influence, and I think she resented the bad influence Sutter had on the young folks in Cypress View.
Okay, I think this is where we are going to end this particular episode. Unfortunately, we're going to have to split up this one investigation into two, because it seems like it's going to go on for quite a long while. And I don't really want a 40 to 60 minute episode in the middle of 20 to 30 minute episodes. So we're going to end it here and continue on later on this week. As always, thank you guys very much for watching, and don't forget to prod the subscribe button down below so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio!
Hey, thanks for watching to the end. If you like our videos, you can help the channel grow by giving it a like and sharing it for others to enjoy. If you want to help the channel out even more, you can find our Patreon link right down there. And of course, other videos here to enjoy yourself.